So now we need to get into a little bit of surfacing theory. Because you see, we have this neck that needs to blend down toward the bottom of the guitar so that your hand has a nice smooth place to kind of butt up against as we transition into the block that connects the neck to the rest of the body. But the thing about surfacing something like this is that it actually, well, it's a little bit complicated. Because you see, we have a curved surface coming down, and then we have a vertical surface here on the side. And we could make that all with one big surface, but for reasons that will become more clear as we work with it, that's going to force us to create a 5-sided surface. We'll need one side coming down, we'll need a side across the bottom, that's 2, we'll need another side coming up, that'll be 3, need another side coming across, that'll be 4, and then another side coming down on our neck surface, which will be 5. 5-sided surfaces are always a bad idea in any CAD system. They just don't work well. You really want to find a way of building the surfaces such that there are only 4-sided surfaces. Now, some of you people who are familiar with sub-D modeling might think that I'm getting myself confused with sub-D modeling, but no, this is true of NURBS too. In fact, it's more true in NURBS than it is in sub-D. So here I'm going to go to my right plane and create a sketch. And the steps I'm about to take may seem cryptic, okay? So what I'm going to recommend is that you watch me do this once, okay? Watch this video along with the next couple of videos even, before you try to do it yourself, so that you at least have an idea of what I'm doing and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing before you actually try to jump in and do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the bottom of this here and make it coincident with that curve representing the back plane of our guitar. I'll grab this point. I'm going to make it coincident with our neck profile curve, and I'm also going to make it tangent to that curve as well. And I don't need it to be quite that far out. And actually, I've created an arc here, which was a bad idea. Shouldn't have done that. Sorry. Let's do that again. I'm going to grab a spline instead of an arc. That'll give me a little bit more control here. There we go. That's better. So now I'll take this spline control handle and make it collinear with my profile sketch. Take the other end and make it coincident with my back plane there. I could also grab this other end just so that I have a control point here to work with. I could nail that down dimensionally if I wanted to. Don't really need to though. Select this and bring it forward. I actually want it to be coincident. Let's make it horizontal to that. And I need it to be a certain distance from the front plane. So let's grab our front plane and this, and we'll nail that down to, say, I don't know, 3 millimeters, something pretty small, because we're going to be using this to trim this surface. So we need a little bit of meat here to grab a hold of. Once again, this stuff is going to make a little more sense after you've seen me go through it once. So here, let's make this, I don't know, 50 millimeters. That should be enough. And then down here at the bottom, we'll need a dimension from, say, here to this point. Make a vertical dimension there. We'll do that, let's say that's, I don't know, 14 millimeters. Do the best we can. And then, like I said, we could dimension this, but we don't need to. I'm just going to eyeball this into place to where I'm pretty happy with it. That looks good. And I think that is all we need to do. So we'll exit that. Now we've got a sketch to work with. And now we're actually going to use this. The first thing is to trim this surface. Okay? So I'm just going to grab my right plane, Control 8 to look normal to that plane. And then grab, under my Surfaces tab, I'll grab my Trim Surface tool. In standard mode, I'll use this new curve I just created as my trim tool. And then I'm going to click the part that I want to keep. And you can see I have Keep Selections selected here in my trim tool. Click OK. And now we have a little notch cut out of our neck. And that notch is, we're going to fill that in with a couple of surfaces. And it's going to take more than one surface. Okay, so let's actually go back, show that sketch, because we're going to use it again in a minute. And let me just demonstrate once again. We have 5 sides here. We have 1, 2, 3. You could imagine the 4th would be the one on the bottom, and the 5th would be this one coming down. Well, like I said, 5-sided surfaces are not a good thing. So in the next video, we'll talk about a technique for how to deal with that.